log on here, and I will do the same with my eye. So, hear me? The headphones in. Just say yes or no or something like that. I'd appreciate it. Last time people couldn't hear me. Can you hear me good? Because I muffled last time. And the first thing I always do is wipe my table off. All right, and I just into it, but it should be okay. Remember anything other than I just sat. How you doing? It's choppy, so should I take my headphones out? Um, I'll take my headphones out, and then if I have to, I'll restart it. But okay, so can you hear me better now? Hi, Vonda. Kyra, there you go. I couldn't think of your name. Um, so can you hear me now? Is it still choppy? Okay, good. It must be the headphones. I'm glad you can make it, Amanda. I know you're 5 hours ahead of us. So, um, yeah, it's midnight there, huh? So, okay, so I'll go ahead and just go ahead and start this. This is a Gildan heavy cotton. This is an extra large. I'm going to flip it inside out and just kind of set it like normal. We don't have to center this shirt or anything, so that saves time. Um, but I set it out as straight as I can. You know, I always want to start with a nice clean starting point. Okay, and that means even down here too. Okay, so I soaked this in soda ash for, it was actually a couple hours. So it was soaked in soda ash. I spun it out in my Panda spin dryer for probably 2.5 minutes, something like that. So it's damp, but not, you know, like wet or anything. So let me pull this back and get this back there. So what I do to help me get my shirt straight and everything is I have some rifle cleaning rods that I use. Sorry about that. That was my ruler. Slipped through. Fell to the floor a little bit. So I use these rifle cleaning rods and it helps me pull my shirt out and get everything nice and straight, crisp. Okay. And do we want to do, okay, hold on. Better now. Hi, Rosie. It's tomorrow already. Yeah, it's 12:07, huh? Okay, so my shirt was spun out about 2.5 minutes in my Panda spin dryer, so it's just, you know, it's damp, but not, you know, not wringing wet or anything. So I got a nice starting point. I'm going to come down about what I think is middle here. That doesn't look bad. I kind of step back, maybe look and see. All right, so I made a little pinch right here where I want to start. And I have a little, scrap piece of shirt, and cut it off, and I use it around my hemostats. A lot of people do a lot of different things. This just seems to work. So I double it over. And I place it right there. So whenever I snap down on it with my hemostats, it's not going to put a hole in the shirt. If it puts a hole in anything, it's going to put it in that little scrap piece of shirt. All right. You use skewers. Yeah, there you go. Some people use a fork and bend the two back and then spin it with a fork. I actually use a splatter guard for a microwave, and I get nice good spirals by using it. It has a hole in the center. You can find them now at like the dollar store and stuff like that, and they're not as heavy, but what you can do is you can always put something in it to weight it down just a little bit, you know. Even just like anything you can really think of, you know, that has a little bit of weight. I thought I saw one person had rocks or, you know, something like that. So just to weight it down just a little bit. So I'll set it like so. I have two different sets of hemostats. I have a small pair and then a big pair. With this shirt, I think I'll use the small pair. All right. So what happens with this colander, or with this spider guard? Somebody got the idea, whenever you would spin up a shirt, a spiral, the bottom always looked real good, you know. So someone got the bright idea of putting something on top also, and it helps get you a nice spiral. Sometimes it'll even almost look like a pleated spiral. All right, so clamp down. I like to kind of, when I start, kind of push down in the center here, and then now I'm just going to spin it. All right, Nothing fancy, just spin it. And what I'll do is I'm going to spin it until it kind of free spins it on itself, and it's pretty close to doing it. Let's stop right there. Okay, so I'll take my hemostats out, and now I can even take my my center, my little thing out there, set it to the side. Now I'll start spinning it with my hands. Anybody say anything better than nothing? Okay. So I'll just work my shirt around, kind of work the ends, and keep your hand in the center. And the harder you push down, the tighter your spiral is going to be. So I'm just kind of just keeping it to where it's not coming off, you know. So I can just keep working it, work it. I just got Mind Bender in. I got a pound of Mind Bender A and a pound of Mind Bender B. And to be honest with you, I haven't even opened it up to see what the dye looks like. I was going to do a black and white spiral. Do we want to use Mind Bender? I mean, I haven't. Like I said, I haven't even seen it. I mean, I've seen it done, used, but I just got it in the mail yesterday, and I did a tie-dye last night that it was a custom, so it didn't require like strawberry or anything like that. Okay, so if you have this, you can still move this around. Since my shirt's damp, it's going to stay there, and then I can go ahead and finish it with my, just move it around. I like to try to get a little crease inside these this neck and little thing. Okay, so I can move it over, do my sleeve. Like that. Try to keep my head up out of the way. And I mumble too, sorry. I every time I talk, somebody's like, "What? What'd you say?" Nobody can ever understand me, so sorry, I mumble a lot. But yeah, just keep working it around. Like that. And after this, I'll, to keep it together, I'll use some tape. Okay. Like that. All right, so I'll set this to the side. I'll get my tape here, and I'll just work my tape around this. Let me get some couple racks. Hold on just a second. Okay. Any questions or anything? Yeah, mumbling is part of the process. It is. All right. So what I'm going to do is I have some green tape here, and I'll take a piece off, and it's basically going to be my extra finger. All right. So I'll start right here, and I'm going to work my tape around, okay? And I'll try to keep my head up out of the way. So I'll start a piece right here, and it's not going to stick to the shirt because it's damp. So I'm going to use this piece of tape as my finger, as somebody holding it. Stick it to the table and then a piece of tape here, and I'm leaving a little tag end. By the time I get this worked around, this tag end is probably going to work its way that way. It usually does. But I just try to keep my hand in the center, my palm, and just work my tape around. All right, almost there. I'll take that little green piece of tape off, give myself some slack here. All right, so there's our spiral. All right, doesn't look bad. Okay, so I can move it around, kind of see where the center is going to be. Spin it that way, spin it with it. It's not there. It's about right there. Okay. So, spun it up, and then now I just put wrap tape around it. Kind of found where my center is pretty close to being, probably about right there. So what I'm going to do is throw this piece of tape away. I have these little black racks, and these were like DVD racks kind of thing, and we took them apart, and now I have plastic coating over my racks. I was using like cookie racks, and they were rusting on me, and some of the rust transferred to one of my shirts, so I quit using them. And Kelly reminded me of these that we had, so they work good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this off my table onto this rack, all right? Just like so. All right, so what I do is I take 2 racks. I use 2 racks. So there it looks like about my center. So I'm going to flip this again. Okay, so that's the bottom. And I'm going to set this rack to the side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw an X in the center of this. And I'll use brown to let me get my head in the way here for just a second. Okay. Now this is just for my colander. I'm going to set my colander has holes in it. And I'm going to line my holes up with the center, so I know that's going to be directly over top of the center of my colander. And I'll show you and it'll make more sense. So I got these at the Dollar Tree. I got these at Dollar Tree. They're like $1.25, and they're normal size colanders pretty much. They have like ones that are perfectly round. I don't mind these. These aren't bad at all. Let me see if I have a white one. That way it'll be easier. You might be able to see what I see here. Okay, so I set this down, and I don't know if you'll be able to see the line, and I'll be easy with it. Maybe you can see it. It's a brown magic marker, and I just lined those up with the center right here. I can see down in there, and I know that's going to be in the dead center when I go to flip this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my rack again, and put this over top. And I'm going to flip it and let everything fall down. Now that's in the dead center of my colander. Now I can set that rack to the side. Now what I do is I just push everything down. And just kind of push it flat. And now everything is, when this goes to melt, everything is going to spin that way. So I'm going to put my lines like that, and everything is from this part of the die is going to go that way, and then this part's going to be white. So we'll do black. We're going to do black and white, and we'll just leave white in the shirt, and we're going to do thin lines of black right here, because a little bit of dye goes a long way with this Proshon dye. All right, and it doesn't take much and to fill a gap like that, especially with gravity involved. All right, so what I'll do is go ahead and draw another line here, and that's where I'm going to place my dye. Okay, right there. Let me get my head in the way here for a second. And right there. And I'm just going to do four, but two thin lines and let it come down. All right. So let me get my, I don't know where my gray pails are. Just a second. Just a second. This is going to have to work for now. I have these gray tubs, and I'm not sure what happened to them. Not a clue. I didn't see them upstairs. But anyway. That's not going to work. Just a second. Let's see if this will work. Ooh, I don't like that. Okay, hold up. Okay, give me a second, all right? Hold up. Okay, sorry about that. I found them. I knew they had to be here. Okay. Remove that. Sorry about that. I forgot about my gray tubs here. All right, so what I do is I'll use a little bit of this green tape that I used as my finger. And I'm going to hold my rack down here because I'm sketchy sometimes. I don't want to do anything to... All right, so I'm going to use, I've been liking New Black from Dharma. And it splits like gold, it splits gold, like a goldish bronze, yellowish color. A lot of these dyes will split burgundies and blues, but I really love this. It's New Black. So I usually use my mask Um, and I urge you to do it too, because this stuff's very fine and you start breathing it in, it's not good for you. But if I put my mask on, you're probably not going to be able to hear me. I don't know if I have a gator down here or not, one of those ones you just pull over your face. But anyway, let me get a spoon here and we'll start adding some of our dye, all right? Okay, so I'm going to, let's see, I don't want to get dye on my table. This is the only time I ever have dye on my folding table. As you saw, I even wipe it off every time. So I'll just follow these lines, and I'm just going to do a thin, just thin line, because I want it to be black and white. Now, if I don't want it to be black and white, and I wanted it to be all black, then I would add 6 lines probably, you know, fill the shirt up. And then I'm just going to let this fall over. Can you see? Yeah, you can. And then I'm going to let this fall over, and let me pull this back just a little bit. So okay. It doesn't take much. All right. Do the same here. Got it? Hey Scott, glad I caught your live. Me too, Regina. Got not hit. You hit a new. Yeah, I got it. I did get a new hat. Remember to like people. Okay. Okay. All right. So you just ordered some new black. Awesome. Yeah, that's what I use for these, man. I friggin' love new black. Um, I love the gold splits, or the, you know, the yellow, on the yellow side anyway. All right, so let me get a little bit more right here. All right, so this is rad dye style of doing it. I don't know how other people do it. This is how I do it, and it seemed to work pretty good, you know, using the tape and using 2 racks and flipping it over twice and marking lines on it, and it seems to, you know, get good flow. I've done a lot of experimenting with this, and you know, it seems to work. I get pretty good flow, and you'll see when you do this, everything's going to flow with the spiral. So anything on this side of this dye right here, it's not going to come back this way. It's all going to flow that way. So this side of the dye is moving that way, this side of the dye is moving that way, that side of the dye is moving, and you know, and it just works like that, which is really cool that this will stay white up through here, because this dye is not working its way back that way. So it's pretty cool. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my ice. Okay, so this is a damp shirt. I'm going to add, I have my dye, now I'm going to add my ice, and I'm not going to need, I'm going to use the same kind of colander, but I'm not going to need it mounding over. I don't need it. I'm only going to need like 3/4 probably. So let me fill up my ice, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to wet my ice down. I want it to be wet, not like dripping on the shirt. but you know, I'm going to put my ice in here. I'm going to wet it down. I'm going to wring it out, and then I'm going to come over and place it on my shirt. All right, so give me 1 minute. All right, just a second. Okay, I'm going to wring it out now. I'm sure you can hear it. Okay, so what I'm also going to do is I'm going to dry the bottom of my colander so it's not like really wet when I go to sit it on my shirt, because if I need to, hold on a second. So I dried the bottom of my colander off too while I was over there. I got my ice, I wetted it down, I wrung it out real well, you know, and then I dried the bottom of it off. So when I go to set it on my shirt here, it's not going to be really wet. So I'm going to just kind of, I've done it enough to where I kind of know where the center is. Okay, so I walk around, make sure it's centered, and if I need to move it a little bit, I do. And what I do is I'm very anal about how level this is. So you see how much ice I have. It's not mounded up. I don't need that much because I put such little amount of dye on here that I don't need to overdo it with my ice. All right, because I want this to be black and white. All right, so here is the trick, and I've learned. I got lucky and learned this trick. You have to put a bunch of soda ash on top of this ice. If you don't put soda ash on top of this ice, the front's going to be bold and bright, and the back is going to be dull and hardly, not non-existent, but it's going to be a lot more dull than the front. So if you put a bunch of soda ash in here, both sides are going to look equal. I just got lucky. I did it one day, and just kind of joking around. And I put about as much as like a nice coating on it. I'm not shy with it. This stuff's not expensive. Okay? So put a bunch of soda ash on it, like a big coating of frost or a light coating of snow. Don't be shy. I'm going to add just a little bit more. And I'll show you when we go to reveal this. What is this, Saturday? We go to reveal this in the next couple days. You'll see what I'm saying. I should do one without it, and you'd see it. You'd see the results, how the soda ash makes both sides as equally bright. But that's how I do my colander spiral. And what I also do is I make sure this is perfectly level. I'm very, like I said, I'm very anal about it. So if I have to put a little marker underneath my tub here to get this level, I do it. And I try to keep it here because my table here is pretty level. And so I can tell that this needs to come up, and it always does. I always have to put a magic marker under here, just one of those little Crayolas, thin ones. And that is actually a little too much, so I'll come down and just get it under the tub. There's like a little lip underneath the tub. It's not very thick, but so that's level, and that's how I like it. And it'll start. It's not going to take long because I made that ice wet. So it's not going to take long for this to start doing its thing. So try to keep everything as level as you can. That way you'll get even saturation. You know, it's going to fall down about the same. So if you want to do multiple colors, so you know, I did one line here and one line there, so do 4 lines, and you might have to widen it out up here in the hub, what you would call the hub, I guess. You might have to widen it out a little bit if you don't want any white, because it's not that I don't like white in shirts, but if it's in places that it's not supposed to be, then it drives me crazy. And sometimes I'll do these with, like, I would do Strawberry Skies and Dragon Egg, and I'd have a little piece of white. It's just some random spot, and it would drive me crazy. So I would try to figure out different ways of laying my dye so that I don't leave any white. So you might have to, you know, mess around with that. But this is how I do my black and whites, and I'll put a picture up of what we did, what we're trying to achieve, and hopefully this is a good one. You know, heck, doing it live, I would like for him to be pretty cool. You know, so it should be. I mean, I've done enough. This looks like it will be a pretty good one. But yeah, when you put your shirt on there, make everything flat. All right, so I hope you guys learned a little bit, and this is how I do it. There's no right or wrong, really. There's not. This is just how I do it. We did them with Steph live, and I think that was I think I did one before that, and I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing when we did it live on her channel. So it made me want to learn how to do these. So let me move this into the center here, because it's not. But yeah, thank you, Kyra. Thanks, Vonda. Thanks, Amanda. BF. Thank you guys so much. It went really well. I did about half of what I did last year. I did really good. It's only 12 hours long, and I did really well. And then this year I did half, which was still really well. But I talked to other vendors, and they said the same thing. I just, you know, in a non-biased way, asked them, you know, how they did the last 2 years, and everyone said the same thing. So the attendance was down. There was another festival just up the road that was pretty popular. You know, the attendance was down a little bit. It was really hot. Kelly had to leave, actually. She was getting sick and was getting migraines and stuff. But yeah, thanks for asking. You know, we did really well. It's always fun to talk to people and see people's reactions to your art. You know, I mean, that's a blast. I have a blast. You know, Kelly's a great saleswoman, so you know she does really good with talking to women. She wears the dresses that I make, so it kind of, you know, they get an idea what size they need. You know, so that always helps. But thanks for watching. Give me, this is what I do, all right? And if you do this, be careful. Now, I'm telling you, this shirt has to stay damp. I microwave it. It'll be probably tomorrow around this time. Maybe not, yeah, maybe even earlier, like afternoon, when it's not dripping wet at all. I mean, this ice will melt in no time, and it'll be done dripping wet in the morning, early morning. I get up and go to work early, so tomorrow afternoon I'm going to put it in a bag, like a Walmart bag, put 2 Walmart bags over it, and put it in the microwave for 3.5 minutes. But you have to make sure this shirt is damp. If it's not damp and you put a dry shirt in the microwave, it's going to catch on fire and it's going to burn your house down. But you know, there's things about tie-dye that, you know, it just happens. So you got to be careful. Don't be putting dry shirts in the microwave. It's the only thing I microwave, or spirals. I don't know why I do it. I started, when I first started doing spirals, that's how I did it. I watched a video on microwave tie-dyeing, and so it is a thing, you know, but you have to make sure your garments are wet. If not, good luck, because you can look it up on some of the groups, and I've seen shirts catch on fire. So if you do it, if you do use it, stand next to it, don't go anywhere. So I can see that this is already starting to run down here. So, and it's running down here, barely right here, and I don't know about here yet. So it looks like it's, you know, pretty even. It's going to be coming down pretty even here. So that's how I do my colander spirals, and give it a try, because they are fun to do. But yeah, have fun, and I look forward to seeing your guys' results. I look forward to seeing the results of this, but we'll do it again, and I want to start working on my channel again. So I have some ideas of what I want to do, and I thought about doing a double fan fold tonight, like hanging up and doing a double fan fold on a Kirkland shirt. I've been using these Gildans, and something's up with these recent batches or something. I've been not getting the best of saturations, and I do the same pre-wash. I do the same pre-washing routine. I even add almost a cup of soda ash to my wash, you know, so I don't know what's up with them. I'm going to just do some experimenting with some other shirts. So, I don't know. What time is it? I figured this wouldn't even be an hour. It's pretty fast. I can bust these out. These spiral, colander spirals. If I'm just sitting here and I do one, I can do one in 10 minutes. So I knew it wouldn't be long. I'll start blabbing down here. So I don't know. Maybe I might just hang up and come back and do a double fan fold. I've been having people, you know, want to know how I do it and stuff. So maybe I might. I have my shirt soaking. It's been soaking for 10 minutes before we started. So yeah, don't catch your house on fire, or just let it batch properly. You know, I mean, there's times I just let it batch properly. Like I said, this is the only thing I kind of cheat with. I call it cheating. I really don't think it is, because there is, you know, there are kits, microwave tie-dye kits, but be extremely careful, you know, use common sense. Stand next to your microwave when you're doing it. Don't sit there and look inside it, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, give me a minute. I might do a double fan fold, you know, because they are fun to do, and I want to use this mind bender so bad. So yeah, I think I will. All right. So hey, thanks for tuning in, and if you want, tune back in. If you're not doing anything, tune back in a few minutes. I always say it, if you guys go out, it is Saturday, if you go out, be careful, take an Uber or something like that, call somebody and they'll come and pick you up. If you live in my town, call me, I'll come and pick you up. All right, don't be driving. All right, so thank you so much, and have a good night. And if you want to tune in here in like 10 or 15 minutes, I'll probably do a double fan fold, because I kind of feel like pleating something. All right, thanks again, and have a good night if I don't hear from you. All right, so I gotta move this for a second and turn this off. All right, peace.